Motivation is fleeting. Whether I'm in the mood to do it or I'm not in the mood to do it, it gets done. That's discipline. Discipline's a real thing. I think follow your passion is also a terrible piece of advice, because most things you enjoy don't pay any money. If they paid money, you wouldn't enjoy them. Maybe 1%, 0.1% can make money from video games, right? All this gay stuff they're pushing has nothing to do with gay people. It's all to do with control. People in charge of the world want more control. You can't drive your car past 8 p.m. because of the environment. You can't eat meat anymore because of the environment. Stay home, eat the bugs, be a slave, be a slave, be a slave. We're cattle to them. They want us to comply. They don't want our individuality. They don't want us to think for ourselves. Be passionate about success. If you're passionate about money, then you can be passionate about anything. I'll be passionate about any business on earth that pays me. If you pay me $1 billion to dig that hole, I'll be very passionate about that hole. I will dig that hole with passion for the cash.
Yeah, because you know the cash.
For the money.
Yeah.
That's right. So when people come along and say, oh, you need to find something you're passionate about, follow your passion. Bro, you're gonna follow your passion to the fucking food bank. You're never gonna make any money that way. You have to sit there and go, what is gonna pay me? I think the world is a violent place. I think there's violence all around us. I think that I view the world in a violent way. And I don't mean that in a negative context. I say a lot of things and people take them as negative, but I see them as positive, right? Like I say I'm an angry person and people imagine me to be like unhappy. Yeah. I'm super happy, but I'm angry. Angry is motivating to me. You can't sleep if you're angry, so you better work, right? So I'm an angry guy, but I'm a happy guy. And I see the world as a violent place. I've always seen it as a violent place. If most people look at a tree, they see a beautiful tree, right? If I look at a big, strong, beautiful tree, I think he must have fucked up every other little sapling around him. He took all the water, took all the nutrients, he destroyed them all. There was once 20 trees, and all 19 are dead. And they got one tree left, the big G, top G tree.
Oh, one.
Top tree. Tate. That's it. That's violence. Violence got him there, right? He destroyed his enemy. That's how he got to the top. You see a beautiful tree, I see violence. You understand? And that's the true nature of the universe. You have to learn that you have to take things from other people. And by taking it, I'm not saying go rob a bank. I'm not saying that. I'm saying completely the opposite. You can be a philanthropist. I'm taking money from everyone inside of Hate You, but I'm changing their lives. It's a good thing. You can take money in a positive way. Most people don't look at life that way. And when you look at life that way, you need to start identifying. One of the things we teach inside of Hate You is to identify every single time your money is taken from you. So I say this to people, I say for the next 2 weeks, every time you spend money, even if it's £1, write down how they got it from you. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, all right, cool. You're walking down the street, you're going to Starbucks, you buy a coffee. Why did they take your money? Well, I wanted coffee. Yeah, but how? Okay, you wanted coffee, right? Cool. Did you only want a coffee because you saw Starbucks, or did you want a coffee beforehand? Why did you want their coffee and not another coffee? Did you buy a cake as well? Why did you buy a cake? All right, cool. So now you identified how they took your money. Then realize how they could have took more of your money. You bought a cake, but you didn't buy a sandwich. Why? The sandwiches weren't on display, or they looked cold, or they looked rubbish. Or the woman who was serving me was old and ugly. Maybe she was a young cutie and talked to me about bologna sandwiches or bought one, right? So you need to start identifying how your money is taken from you. Because once you identify how your money is taken from you, you can start to actually intelligently think about how you can take money from other people. If I had to open a coffee shop, if I sit in a coffee shop, right? If I sit in Starbucks, the whole time I'm in there, not only am I thinking about how they got the money from me and how much I spent, I'm thinking about how I could outcompete them. I'd sit there and go, okay, cool. I'm in Starbucks. I spent £5.68. I got a latte and I got a donut. And I'm sitting here. And that business place, that commercial property right across the street is available for lease. How could I outcompete this coffee shop which just took my money? What's the profit margin on this £5.68? How much did this cost them? The coffee, pennies. Donut, 30p maybe, right? How much is the staff? They pay the staff minimum wage £8 an hour. So I've already paid 30 minutes work from that brokey, the wage. Yeah. She's there for another 30 minutes for free, right? How much is the rent? How much is the business rates? If I had to open up there, how would I attract people to come into my shop as opposed to their shop? They got a big brand name. I'm brand new. Okay, well, the bitch working here is ugly. My one's gonna be hot. Boom, that's the beginning. Next thing, do they have any signage outside? No, I'm gonna try and put some signage outside. Do they have parking? No, I need parking. But you just start thinking about how you can convince people to give you their money as opposed to giving it to the places they already give it.
Different analytics.
And once you do that, people say, I can't think of how to make money. If you start doing that for a year and just keep a notepad, you'll have 100 ideas of how to make money. You'll sit there and go, there's a place here that's doing this and we can do it better this way. This place online is doing this, we can do it better this way. And then to get them all done, what do you need? Network. You need people. It's all about people. Then you need to either go in the war room if you want to join, or have your people around you and say, okay, we can make money with this. Who's gonna do it? Who's not lazy? Who's getting up at 4 a.m. tomorrow? Boom, let's get it done. So there's unlimited ways to make money, but most people go through life and their money is taken from them and they don't even identify how they got tricked out of it.
They're just happy with it.
Yeah, they just have, how did I spend 16 grand in Cirque last night? Oh, because my ass got drunk. How'd they get me drunk? Well, because the guy, when I first bought the first bottle of champagne, was there on the table, pouring, putting it in my hand, got me drunk, then I spent 16 grand on bottles. That's how they got my money. So if I open a club, I had to make sure when people first come in, they get fucking hammered. Nobody thinks about it that way. Nobody thinks, how did they get that out of me? Right? Why am I spending $2,000 for dinner in Novikov? Is it the food or is it the fact that I'm in Novikov and tag myself in Novikov? You have to identify how you're getting famoosed, how you're getting finessed. That's how you do it. But most people just walk through life getting finessed left, right, and center, giving all their money up. Oh, how did that happen?
You got to learn to finesse other people.
Yeah, but it's not finessing in a negative way.
It's in a good way.
It's a good way. You have to take money from other people. That's the only way you're going to make money. Yeah. You have to take it. There's a pimp, and he said a really intelligent line. He said, business is just other people's money. That's all business is. I want to start a business. So you want other people's money. That's what you want. So how are they going to give it to you? You have to think about it. Nobody thinks about it. And the easiest way to think about it is to think how you're giving yours away. That's a mental model you should adopt.
Yeah.
And you'll end up with loads of business ideas. Business ideas are everywhere. It's just execution, which is difficult.
And I saw in clips as well that you've got understanding and sort of respect for Islam. So
a massive respect for it. I have a massive respect for Islam because they have principles which they refuse to bend on. And we live in a world now where every single principle is being constantly bent and broken. Yeah. And I like to see a fundamental, or I like to see a mental model which is rigid.
Yeah.
There's nothing left rigid anymore. The law isn't rigid. Christianity isn't rigid. Like the only thing you can sit there and say they will not bend or they will not break is Islam. So I have absolute respect for them because it's just a masculine imperative. It's just a masculine mindset to have. And as a man, I respect people who say what they mean what they say. Those are the rules. Oh, you don't like it? Tough. And besides Islam, there's not much of that left in the world now. Yeah. Now everything's just bending and breaking and they're making it up. Yeah. Like if someone were to ask me my religion, I would have to say if I was to find God, it would have to be via Islam. Because so if you're gonna bend all your own rules, if you're gonna be tolerant of everything and stand for nothing, then I don't think you have any. A lot of these things are not what people think they are. There are people who think so surface level. The people inside the matrix think surface level. They sit there and think this is only about accepting what gay people want to do. I don't care what gay people want to do. I'm not homophobic. I don't give a shit what you want to do. It's not about that. What's actually happening is that the New World Order and people who are in charge of the world are using certain agendas to enforce. They're using them as a disguise to enforce hidden things. You understand? It's like the Green New Deal. They come along and say global warming, global warming, global warming. They pretend it's about the planet, but really it's about just raising taxes to the sky, locking you in your house and taking your car away. They don't give a shit about the planet. It's a disguise. So the people who are in charge of the world are using certain agendas which they don't want you to argue against to sneak in a bunch of other legislation, a bunch of other rules. And the whole pro-gay acceptance thing is exactly the same. It's nothing to do with gays. The people who are in charge of the world don't care about anyone but themselves. They don't care about you, whether you're gay or straight. They're not interested. What they're interested in doing is controlling the minds of people and affecting the way people operate in a way which is beneficial to them. I don't want to get too political on this podcast and say what they're really doing, because the video will get taken down. But anyone who has a brain, who wants to go and find out, you will find out that all this green agenda they're pushing has nothing to do with the environment. All this gay stuff they're pushing has nothing to do with gay people. It's all to do with control. The people who are in charge of the world want more control. If they gave a shit about global warming and rising sea levels, why does every single multimillionaire and billionaire buy a house on the beach? It's the first place they buy their mansion. I thought we're all going to drown next year. Bollocks, bro. It's a lie. It's all a lie. They don't care. But by saying that, now there's carbon credits, carbon limits. You can't drive your car past 8 p.m. because of the environment. You can't eat meat anymore because of the environment. Stay home, eat the bugs, be a slave, be a slave, be a slave. Every single government in the world is interested in control. That's all they've ever wanted. That's all they ever want more of. Governments want control. They want to control their populace. They think of us as sheep. We're cattle to them. They want us to comply. They don't want our individuality. They don't want us to think for ourselves. They want us to just sit there and obey like robots. So every single one of them is slowly inching, day by day, pushing the limits, taking as much control as they can from the people till the people revolt.